Recently, I've been getting a lot of comments on my videos asking what the game I'm playing is. This is PokeMMO, the greatest online Pokemon game ever made. Today's video is going to be answering the question, is PokeMMO still worth playing in 2025? A little bit of background about me. My name is Epoch. I've been around in this community for about 6,000 hours. On all my accounts combined. The style of content that I usually do is shiny hunting and in-game merching, so like flipping Pokemon or items. If I combined all the characters that I've had, I would be in the top 5 for the most shinies found in the entire game. I'm also not afraid to be critical on this channel. If the devs do something really stupid, then I usually make a video about it. I'm really not afraid to show my honest opinion of whether or not this game is still worth playing in 2025. Now, in order to answer this question, I'll be judging PokeMMO on various criteria picked out by hardcore Pokemon and MMO players that I surveyed. I basically asked them what makes a really good MMO game. I think the best way of finding out whether or not PokeMMO is still a good game in 2025 is by comparing it to other MMOs. MMO games like this demand a lot of your time and attention to get really far into them, so players that play games in this genre will typically only stick to one or two long term. The criteria we'll be judging PokeMMO with is, how does PokeMMO compare to the other Pokemon games? How is the progression in PokeMMO? Variety of content. Microtransactions. What's the group activity like in PokeMMO? Ability to show off your achievements, and the update frequency and communication with developers. I think that PokeMMO is hands down the best Pokemon game you can play right now. The franchise seems to keep disappointing its fans with every installment, and Pokemon enjoyers have been begging Nintendo to make its own open-world multiplayer Pokemon game for ages. If you're looking for a multiplayer experience, this is going to be your main option. The game has been up and running since 2012, and while there's not completely accurate player data, I can say that almost every corner of the world, there's always people doing various different activities. The world is very filled up. There's also no arguing whether or not the game's map should be Kanto, Sinnoh, Unova, because it has all 5 of the first regions. If you grew up on Fire Red through Black and White, you will love PokeMMO. I can guarantee that. Progression in PokeMMO is pretty solid compared to other games. Most MMO games, you have to sit through so many hours of story and cutscenes just to make it to the end game. PokeMMO is unique in that you have 5 storylines you can complete, but at whatever pace you want. At the 4th gym in your first region, you unlock the ability to use the global trade link, which is like the marketplace for the entire game. You can catch Pokemon, then go to sell them, flip Pokemon, whatever you need to do in order to buy the items and stronger Pokemon you need to get through your playthrough. This also means that you can pull Gen 5 Pokemon into the earlier regions. PokeMMO also has level caps for each gym, and once you've fully beaten a region, you'll have access to level 100s, but only for the region that you beat. Having all the regions done, because that's when you can start doing gym reruns, Elite 4 reruns, EXP farming. So yeah, once you have all the regions done, I'd say that's when your account is fully progressed. PokeMMO has an okay variety of content. I'm not too well versed in the PvP scene personally, but there's quite a few creators that make great content about it, as well as guilds who take it very seriously. Shiny hunting is mainly where I think the game excels. Grinds take much longer in this game than they do in the regular Pokemon games, which gives a better sense of accomplishment. The newer Pokemon games tend to make shiny hunting incredibly easy, so having it be challenging, specifically in a multiplayer version of the games, is really awesome. PokeMMO also has a surprisingly deep economy. There's literally people on various forums and discords doing investment analysis of the limited items. I think where PokeMMO falls off content-wise is with the mundane money-making kind of things. Gym reruns, Elite 4 reruns are dailies, which are generally classified as the lowest form of PVM content in MMO games. Other methods of making money that aren't dailies are things like catching alpha Pokemon, paydaying, or catching breeders. There's no real hard, engaging content that's rewarding and also able to be grinded out all day long. So something like an endgame dungeon would be so great for PokeMMO. I don't know why they haven't put more dev time into that sort of thing. You look at a game like RuneScape that has the 3 big raids at the end, and something like that, but translated into Pokemon battle mechanics would be insane. People would love it. They've had raids, quote unquote, being developed and promised for about 2 years now, but they only showcase those during the end of the year, during like the Halloween event and the Christmas event. The devs also slapped nerfs into the game without any warning. When they nerfed the ability to edit the game's text speed, that really affected the efficiency of doing stuff like Elite Four reruns. Microtransactions are sadly an important part of any MMO. PokeMMO is no different. If you want to skip all of the terrible, brainless dailies, you can simply get out your credit card and put $100 on the game for 20 million Pokeyen. Some items are so expensive that spending real money is the only logistical way to obtain them. It extends outside of just items as well. Shiny hunting costs yen. I'm basically able to pay for any hunt I want in the game, but that's also because I've spent thousands of hours becoming the best mercher I can be. For someone just starting out, getting the approximate 100 million to go for a rare shiny seems daunting. There are obviously cheaper and more varied methods of getting shinies, but as it stands, the most efficient methods being this expensive for certain species of Pokemon is definitely a negative for the game overall. For example, getting 100 million by doing your own daily gym runs on one account would take 285 days. That's absolutely absurd. Group content in PokeMMO is basically non-existent outside of raids and other event-centric stuff. This means that we only get group content around one part of the year. Now, if we're talking about the general experience of guilds and things like that in PokeMMO, the guild system is pretty nice. It's easy to find a team, they're easy to use. You basically just go on the forums and you apply to them. People often always advertise in global chat or in different discords. Once you join a guild, the chat will start showing up in the bottom. I personally think that joining a team/guild is essential for getting the most out of PokeMMO, as most teams will have good information on how to do things, and constantly just having the option to open up the chat and have a conversation with anybody, it really makes the Pokemon experience so much better. PokeMMO is hands down the best game to show off your achievements that I've ever played. The game is extremely deep in terms of the accomplishments you can make. It's not a game like RuneScape, where you can spend 500 hours to get a 99 on a leaderboard that's dominated by bots, or spending your time grinding for an Inferno Cape that 65% of players have just paid for. Your journey feels a lot more unique on PokeMMO. The fact that you can catch an awesome shiny, win a trophy for becoming the GOAT in a PvP tournament, or just show off an insane item that you grinded for, just by dragging each of those into the chat and hitting enter, is awesome. Although the game can be insanely hard, it feels very rewarding once you've completed your goal. It also just feels way better to shiny hunt on PokeMMO, since it's been around forever, and your shinies aren't just locked to some save file. Then we have the developers and the frequency of updates. I'd say that as a whole, PokeMMO works pretty well. Basically everything works as intended, account security is pretty good, dupe glitches / other major threats to the economy get taken out very quickly. I'd also like to say that the PokeMMO team is smaller than other dev teams, and they obviously don't get as much funding as like Blizzard or Jagex or something like that. The problem comes though when we do compare them to other MMO devs. The lack of content for half a year really needs to change. As it stands, the current rotation of updates in PokeMMO is so bad that we've literally came up with a name for it as the community. This part of the year is called Event Season, where the only major game updates actually happen. Halloween, Christmas, and Lunar New Year. This part of the year is generally the most fun and engaging. However, the entire other part of the year is completely dead when it comes to hearing anything new from the developers. This often leads to players getting all these insane ideas about what could be coming, and then as soon as the updates drops, they're all disappointed because they have these like crazy conspiracy theories. Other MMOs will constantly roll out bug fixes, balance changes, small content updates. You see that type of stuff weekly, and with PokeMMO we're stuck with nothing for half a year. Player support also needs a complete overhaul in my opinion, as I've seen multiple cases of players being wrongfully banned and having to reach out to admins via Discord for help. Needing to have the proper context just to appeal a false ban is unacceptable for a game of PokeMMO size. It's also worth mentioning that other MMOs, customer support also extends to suggestion and feedback. If you send in a support ticket to PokeMMO about something as small as like a reminder or like something that messed up, just like trying to help out, they will redirect you to the forums, which not even every player knows exists. Your suggestions and feedback should not have to be in public. You should just be able to send these in. So, all of that being said, is PokeMMO worth playing in 2025? If you like Pokemon games, absolutely. If you really enjoy it, you'll have an experience that's unmatched by other games in its genre. There's always stuff that they can improve on. I think at its core though, PokeMMO is a great game, but I think it could be better. I look forward to what they have in store for us, and I hope you all check out the game. Leave a comment if you enjoyed, and like always, take care.